Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining today from the Fitchburg Police Department is my favorite lieutenant, Lieutenant Dan. Yeah, I always want to say Lieutenant Dan when I think lieutenant, but it's Lieutenant Edward Hardwick. Ned, how are you doing, sir?
Fantastic. How are you, Jeremy?
Doing good. It only took me 5 years to get your title down, but that's, here or there. We got a lot to get to here today, Ned, and we're going to start with a new social media app that you're using to reach out to residents. Another way for communicating, which is a must when it comes to city resources, but police too. We've talked about this, that communication is everything. So you're going to be using now Nextdoor. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so it's certainly not a new platform. I think a lot of our residents are familiar with Nextdoor, but it will be a new space for us to be in. We recognize that not everyone is on Facebook or Twitter, and a lot of communication occurs within a neighborhood on Nextdoor. And so we wanted to put ourselves out there. Now, it's a little different than your typical Nextdoor account. We're not going to be able to see when there are free items on the curb or when that neighborhood cat is at the back door. Again, and someone's looking for its owner, but we will be able to put out messages to targeted neighborhoods or the entire city. And I think Nextdoor is telling me that there's over 7,000 people that are registered in the city of Fitchburg Nextdoor accounts. So I'm looking forward to it being a helpful resource to get information out to our residents in a more targeted and timely fashion.
Ned, maybe for people who don't know, for all the ways that you can reach out. So, we've got the neighborhood officers and officers will get out and chat with people when they have time. That's always been, I think, a goal of the department. But what are the other communication resources that you use on a regular basis to reach people?
Sure. We absolutely love the face-to-face communication. That's what we're used to. That's what we, do on a daily basis. But we also know that people, especially with their busy lives and just comfort levels of kind of living in a digital era, like to be able to connect and learn about what's going on a couple different platforms. So we've had Facebook and Twitter for a number of years now, and we're also accessible on the website. With the website redesign, it's a little bit easier to navigate and submit concerns and get information. So plenty of ways to reach out to us, and we're always just a phone call away. To that phone number, 270-4300, is answered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by a City of Fitchburg employee. So if you don't know where to go or to get information, or if you have a question, please give us a call or reach out on any of those platforms.
And don't leave out Talking Fitchburg, Ned. I mean, you're here today to communicate. That's why we do this each and every month.
Well, I was going to mention that is going to be my grand finale, that this is our preferred outlet once a month to really get out all of the information and have kind of a quasi face-to-face encounter.
Absolutely. It's good to hear from you, and everybody else that we have on the show each and every month. So it works out really well. Turning our attention to town of Madison, annexation going to be happening October 31st of 2022. In that, we've already talked a little bit about kind of the future of what the department's going to be doing, but we have new districts that are going to be coming out or in place here, Ned, that you'd like to talk about, and that includes our new portion of Fitchburg.
Yeah, so it's hard to believe. It's been quite a few years in the making, but the town of Madison attachment is just around the corner, coming up here in November. And so in preparation, what we have done internally is taking a look at how we assign officers to patrol the city, keeping in mind population, calls for service, where we see a lot of our activity, and also recognizing that there's been a lot of growth on the east side of our city, with the Terra Vista neighborhood and Forest Edge Elementary, and then obviously the attachment of the town. And so what we have done is kind of redrawn our district boundaries for officers to patrol. Our residents are not going to see a ton of difference, except they may see officers a little bit more frequently in areas that they may not have. Just a couple of days ago, we switched yesterday, and we're trying to be in all 35 square miles of the city at once, because everyone always asks, where's the cop when you need it? So that's what we're trying to accomplish, and get people out and ready for the town.
Hey, and just to add to this, Ned, what's the advantages? It's typical for police departments to do districts, to do sections, to do zones. What's the benefit of doing that in a big scheme of things when you're planning out, I guess, how the department operates?
Sure, it's a great question. One of the biggest advantages, especially in such a large jurisdiction like we have with the 35 square miles, is to ensure that we have at least one officer fairly close to whenever that call might come in. Now, it's very important to keep in mind, I think a question comes up pretty frequently is, why does it take so long for an officer to get somewhere when they call? And one of those things is, due to the number of officers that we have working, and sometimes that can be an alarmingly low number of people. We have 4 officers to cover that entire jurisdiction. We may have one call on one side of the city that takes all 4 officers. Other times when we have 8 or 9 officers working, we're able to spread them out a little bit more. But at least with this district model, it distributes our officers. And then most importantly, though, it allows officers to become familiar with people, businesses, and places and activities in those districts so that they can provide a higher level of service.
Yeah, it's going to be a good thing, and just a continued effort on your guys' part to keep up with residents and feedback. And you take feedback all the time. I think that's part of if you want to call it the game, but part of your nature of the business of collecting that feedback and trying to address issues as they come up. So I think it's a good thing, and we'll keep sharing as how it's working. And I know you'll bring information back here when that as you work through that. Back to school, another great topic. We're in the back to school season. I love the post that you guys put out with the motorcycle. It catches your eye quickly about slowing down in school zones and overall. But from a standpoint for the police department, it is back to school, and we got to be paying attention, whether it's going to school, buses, walking to school, all of that.
Yeah, it is a great reminder. It's kind of disappointing how quickly that back to school season pops up, the end of summer. But it really is a reminder. It's important all the time to be paying attention to what's going on when you're driving. But the yellow school buses and those school zone signs are a critical piece to keep in mind, that it's time to put the phone down, it's time to slow down and be alert for people walking, people riding bikes heading to school. We're lucky to have a crossing guard on Lacey Road there to get students to Savannah Oaks and Stoner Prairie. But please just slow down and pay attention. You don't want to take your eyes off the road and have a bad outcome. So please just slow down and pay attention.
Good advice there. Finally, it is coming up to October already, and Halloween's just around the corner. Will the police department be back out, handing out some glow sticks, hanging out with the community, and probably one of my second favorite police event over community night out?
Yeah, I can confirm that the glow sticks are in the building, and we are already preparing for getting out into our neighborhoods. And also what has become a tradition is to see what costume Drago will be adorned in come Halloween. So we'll be sharing some more information in the next couple of weeks here with trick or treat hours and our plan where you can find us. But yeah, we absolutely love that event and are looking forward to it.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye out, see what Drago, maybe he could just put a paw out with something on his paw that, kind of gives you the hint of, oh, maybe he's going to be, he can't be Buzz again. He's been Buzz Lightyear in the past. So it's going to be interesting. All right, Ned, thank you so much for the information. If people do want to find you on Nextdoor, social media or more, where can they get that info?
If you're already on Nextdoor, Jeremy, I think you can figure out how to find us. We're on Facebook. I think most people these days are pretty adept at figuring out how to find us, but we will be putting out a welcome post on Nextdoor pretty soon. So stay tuned for that.
Oh, man, Ned, give me a break. Gosh, this guy, I tell you. Ned, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it as always. And we'll catch up with you next month.
All right. Thanks, Jeremy. Take